Okay, so after the first operating round, I ran through completely. We had the MSC and the DPI both paid out. The other two railroads both swallowed. No new trains were bought. The money's not there, not yet, although it's going to be close. There's a lot here. There's a lot here. So I think we're going to see new trains come out fairly soon, and those are pretty big, those 6 trains. Just no one has the cash right now to spring for it. So it's going to require a little bit of shifting here unless the 3s die. Which, since the order of play is fixed, that probably, well, it may happen. We'll see. So the CD Brothers just swallowed again. I don't remember what they make. 250, 450, 490, 500 bucks. They pulled that in. Train 600. They have their set up so that they can grab the cheap dude who gives us a discount on railways. They can buy a train or a company. In this game, you can buy as many as you like. It's just you have to discard at the end once you're holding too many. So they're going to buy this sucker for 600 minus 120 is only 480. That in hand. That obsoletes the 3 trains. This is not allowed in most XX games, but it seems to be perfectly legit here. And there are only 2 3 trains on the board, so we throw them away. And now CD Brothers has a really good collection of rails. And over on Desmond Pickable, he's got nothing that'll last forever. It's going to go away pretty soon. In fact, I don't know what those 8A and Bs are. It depends on how much you want to make off your train. Whether you want to have a cheaper permanent train or not. Now, if we look at the overall schedule, those are the final trains. And that's kind of the cheapest permanent train that you can get, which may be its advantage. Well, it's definitely its advantage. Okay, I guess we'll go on to the Avarice line, which everybody still has trains on them. That's kind of cool. So we see the Avarice line, after swallowing, had enough to buy another 6 train. The Desmond Pickable did not swallow. It played and paid out, whatever, 140 a share, or 14 a share, 140 bucks total. Went in here, not all of it to them, 112 or something like that, right? They had to set their tokens up like this, though, to hold 2 trains and make 1 purchase. They bought a train for all but $1, from the CD Brothers. That leaves CD Brothers less trains, but enough money to, at the very least, buy themselves the low-valued 8 train, which only costs 400 bucks, and perhaps enough to buy the big guy. Doesn't really matter which. They'd like the bigger ones, obviously. Alright. Okay, Scrooge, Marley, Scrooge, and Cratchit. Oh, that's lovely. Ran, paid out, and then bought a train, a permanent train, from over on Avarice. Good thing they did so, because Seeley Brothers bought the first 8 train. And they bought the big one. They did a swallow to buy it. And that crashed all the 4 trains. Everybody lost a 4 train. Everybody except for this one company is sitting on a single train at this point. All right. Well, let's go on with Avarice, who's got a pile of money. I don't know what they can do with it yet. Okay, we're at the end of that operating round, and a train goes away. Now, Avarice ended up buying one of the cheaper permanent trains, they could easily do that. And they had to swallow to do it. Desmond Pickable? They shifted another token over so that they're producing 200 in base value for their run and paid out. And we go to the stock round. So player A, or whatever you want to call him, uses his special ability, grabs the priority, spends $320 to start the McGreed Brothers and Sons. That's going to start it with $800, enough to buy a big train. That's probably all it's going to have. But he's playing on the, I want 40% shares, they're the most valuable things to have. I'm not sure how true that is when there's 30% in the established companies sitting around. I don't know how wise it was, but he thought it was important. Important enough to spend his priority on, in addition to just doing. Go over and see what the player B does with this. He threw down $300, $100 a share, to grab 30% of the CD Brothers. I think CD Brothers is in really good shape. The danger here, of course, is that the owner of CD Brothers, if he gets priority, which he could do just by passing at this point, can kind of cheat this situation. Of course, if he passes, then this guy can just dump these, get his $300 back, and invest it in something safer. So there's not a lot of value to playing too carefully in this one. Probably because of the two-player nature of it. If he dumps his CD Brothers, he doesn't really want, he's not going to want to buy it again. Right? So there's no real opportunity loss and no real cost to anything. It doesn't even affect the stock price because he's not the current president. And passing would have been very foolish. He had to pick up that extra 10% of McGreed Brothers in order to float the company. It's now started, it's got his $800, he can buy a train, presuming there's one left once it gets to it. There should be. Over here, we don't have enough money to buy anything, so he's going to pass. And he does not have enough money to buy anything, so he too will pass. We go to the operating round. And I got to find my companies. Alright, so we see where the stocks have fallen. Now, they're not liable to move around in this game, from what I can tell. Certainly not with me playing. 2, 4. He's got 6 certificates. He's got room for 3 more. 2, 4, 7. He's got room for 2 more. I said 3 over there, I hope. Okay. Of course, this guy's certificates are worth more. You can see that right off the bat with that, 100% at 150. Wow, that's a lot. Anyway. What we're seeing, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 more sets of operating rounds, not complete ones necessarily, before the game's going to end. We're going to see a lot of running and some purchasing of shares. That's kind of a little weird to me. I feel like we're almost decided at this point. This is usually the, it should be about this far in an 1830 type environment. So I'm looking at, wow, that looks like a really long period that we're going to be going. But we'll see. The game moves fast enough that it shouldn't be a problem. On to the first operating round for the Marley, Scrooge, and Cratchit. He's going to leave his positioning like this. He makes a quick run at 100 and, well, he's going to spend 1 chip. Oh, he can't spend that yet. Okay, so he's going to make run for $140. That pays out. He's got 100% of this company. That goes into his pocket. And stock value goes up. Whoops. Yeah, nice board there. Now, he's got his actions. He's going to grab this guy. Granted, he loses the production for this turn. Oh, that's a shame, but It's okay. He'll make it up because he's got 100% of this. He's only got 50% of avarice. And then, for a buck, he's going to buy avarice's other train. The reason is, again, he's got 100%. Once more, he loses this big income. But that's okay. He's counting on trying to make the biggest money he can on this rail that he owns a lot of. Holding his shares of avarice may be going up eventually to 70%, but buying shares in other things that the first player has that are worth more, like he's done with CD Brothers. Okay, moving to CD Brothers, and after this I'll probably pause and just run through the rest because they're not going to be as exciting. Let's see what he's going to do. Well, he's not going to do much, actually. So I can just run him normally, because the weird stuff's going to happen probably on Magritte Brothers. So I'll run through until we get to Magritte, I think, and then give you a quick rundown on what happened. Okay, we're on the Magritte turn. Let me go through the rest before I actually get to them, although I know what they're going to do. So the second one was CD Brothers. They, I believe, shifted another token over to produce more income. Everybody's kind of dropping down into bunker mode. I don't know if this is the best thing. I could calculate this out, actually. This one thing that kind of bugs me is that you can actually almost completely calculate how valuable different motions are. Like, if I swallow, will I make more than... And if I swallow and buy another train, will I make more than if I don't? I don't like making that kind of thinking. That's why I stay away from Euros, to tell you the truth. Why do I like XX? I don't know, because I have a feel for it. And maybe I have a feel for this and I'm making the right move by hunkering down. I don't think so, because this track's so long ahead of there. I think probably my gut instinct in XX, which is, everything's out, the game's going to last like one more operating round. Well, that's just wrong. There's obviously a long period in front of me. So this one may require different kind of thinking, the kind of thinking that an 1870 or 2038 takes, which is, oh yeah, I can save up and get another train. Well, I don't want to make that thought on this first game. So those of you who are laughing at me, go ahead and laugh away. Okay, so that's CD Brothers. Luckily, everybody's making the same mistake, or both of them are. So after them comes Avarice, and everybody's paying out. Avarice is also hunkering down a little bit. They're not quite in the same position, but, you know, that's more than one swallow to make it. So it's definitely that they want to hunker down. I'm not so sure CD Brothers wanted to, but I have other plans in there. Okay, going onward. Well, likewise, that's Despicable also paid out and also hunkered down. And they're at, I mean, they cannot change what they are now. They have a train. They're making 210 a run. They're set. They cannot modify that one bit. CD Brothers actually can, but we'll get to that in a moment. Now, the Magritte Brothers. This is how I set up. Why? Well, I want to use one of my tokens to grab the dude who makes buying railroads cheaper. I pay 800 minus 100 and minus 80 minus 160. It's like 640, I think. Out of 700 means I get 60 back. I buy another big 8 train. I don't go forward because I didn't pay out. I've taken 2 actions. I have room for 2 trains. I'll buy another train. I don't know how much to pay. I'll pay nearly all of it. I'll take a couple bucks back. And I will buy another 8 train. Now what I'd like to do at this point is I'd like to grab this guy too. I can't. I've used up all of my tokens. 2 to own the trains, 3 to have bought 2 trains and grabbed a dude. I gotta stick with this. But eventually, he's coming over too. And that I can assure you. Why am I doing this? Especially since I own 60% of CD and only 50 of McGreed. Because he's got 30% of CD. He's not going to give that up unless I make CD less attractive to him. And there's no real reason for me to particularly protect CD. It doesn't matter where they are on the stock market. I might as well make the money on one of these, and now I can buy shares of this one. Of course, priority's still over here. That's a pity. That means he can go grab shares of McGreed, the 30% of McGreed instead. But that's life. So I'm not too worried about that. More than that, I could actually ruin CD Brothers on my next operating round. And if I had that card still, I could hand a raped CD Brothers off to the other player, because I've got 60%, which I could sell. I'm not sure how much of it I'm allowed to sell, but I could drop it to, I could drop below that, I believe, like in any XX game, and dump the company. Unfortunately, I don't have that option right now, and he's got priority. So it's safe for him to hold CD Brothers. Okay, so that's what I've done for the first operating round. Now I go to the second one. I don't think anything too exciting is going to happen in that second one, but we'll see. So I ran the Marley, Scrooge, and Cratchit, and I don't know what it went for, 350, 380, 400, and that all went into his pocket. Sweet, beautiful, whatever. Over onto CD Brothers. What can I do? I got 2 of these left. I can grab the dude back. 20% discount. I've got 300 and 20 bucks. Which I can spend on one of these crappy 8 trains. Oh, I made my run first, sorry. 230, 240, 250, 260. I'm going to pay out at 26 a share. No problem with that. But I had enough cash to buy another train, which is what I really wanted to do. Okay, so I'm on to the McGreed Brothers. Everyone else just ran paying out. Not sure how many there are. 2 Avarice at its 120. And Desmond at its 210. Now, for McGreed, I want stuff off of CD Brothers. What stuff? Well, I definitely want this dude, because I'm going to have all my trains over here. And I'm going to... You always want to leave a buck on a railroad in an XX game. I'm going to take this. Actually, I own more of CD right now, and I think he's got the same option on McGreed. I'm going to take this one for a buck, because I think that improves the questionable value. Is it worth dumping the CD Brothers? Is it not? Who wants what? Because I don't really know, but I want to make his decisions harder by making my companies not clearly this one's just better. Now I had to shift one of these down. I made 2 purchase actions, one for him, one for this. I have 3 trains. I can't move anything down. Ooh, I forgot to make my run. My run was only 600 for that. And I'll deal that out in a moment. I'm paying that out.